Alex Answer here, coming to you on the evening of August 26th in the year 2017. I don't know if you've noticed the patterns, but it appears we have a connection between multiple events. Hurricane Harvey is now a catastrophic Category 4 storm. It was yesterday that they were predicting a Category 2 storm. It became a Category 4 storm today with winds hitting southern Texas at 130 miles per hour. Now this follows the total solar eclipse, which is not a common occurrence. And then days after the total solar eclipse, we had a geomagnetic storm that was going off and on, at least 6 or 7 on the planetary K index, which you can look at NOAA's website. And then do a little bit of research into how human beings are affected by geomagnetic storms, and then also do some research on the eclipse effect on the individual, the inner life, as we see these changes on the outer layer. And in another video I'm going to get into that. But as we look at this and we see the effect of these solar flares as we go into solar minimum, right? The Earth's magnetic field weakens. So the impact of solar flares, the impact of cosmic rays, it's that much stronger. Is there potential for some of these storms to be created? We're seeing parallels here with Hurricane Katrina. Did you know that Hurricane Katrina also took place right after an X-class solar flare? There's 3 used books here that I've purchased in the last few months regarding the sun that I've never read in full. It's going to be a busy winter. Solar Rain 2005, Mitch Batros. His website is earthchangesmedia.com. Now, Mitch Batros, he talks about the effect on weather. He talks about the effect on earth changes, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, major storms. And he's appeared on Coast to Coast with George Norrie many times, and he's discussed this. I would consider him one of the main solar flare researchers that discusses the weather impact, and this comes, of course, before channels like Suspicious Observers. So we see this situation in Hurricane Harvey. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of information tomorrow, and I'm going to try to bring you that, but I think this is an important time to pause and make this brief video and let you know, right, that we are seeing a conjunction of events. Total solar eclipse, the emotional response within, right, the path of this eclipse, and the people flocking together. And of course, it's obviously something that brings more change to our world than more traffic to certain areas, a bunch of campers, and a bunch of used solar eclipse glasses on the ground littered around. Who knows, maybe those glasses might be useful for something else. Let me also introduce Solar Revolution to you. And it is written by a German. This was originally published in German in the year 2009, and then it was revised for some of the projections regarding 2012. Not everyone that discusses 2012 and the Mayans predicted an end-of-the-world scenario. Or that to be a period for the solar flares to produce solar flare kill shots on the level that Ed Dames and others have predicted. Even myself, I thought by 2013 we could see the big one. In recent years, just to let you know about the idea of the grid going down and the solar flare effect, we've already been going through it. Quebec in 1989 was hit with a solar flare. We can also see effects, a major solar flare in 2003 that affected part of the grid in the Northeast. I pulled my sciatic nerve. I was going through major life changes and shifts at the tail end of Solar Cycle 24. And I get into a lot of that change within my life on the on-demand channel. The good news is, although I've said a mouthful there, it seems that, at least in the past, YouTube was cool with me discussing solar flares and things of that nature. So where things are going to go from here on out, so far a lot of my videos are being demonetized. But I think that this is a safe conversation and information that you should be aware of. Books, perhaps, that you've never heard of. This is called Son of God. I kid you not. I was at a bookstore in one of the next towns over here in Colorado. And I had the intention out there to find a book about the sun that would expand my current understandings. And by the way, I have my first PDF or ebook coming out in a few days. I will let you know the details. And I will review some of that key information that I never had time to cover when I presented it at the Free Your Mind Conference in 2013 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But now that the citations are there, and now that the PDF is about done, it's about time to do a revision presentation on that information. But it does include the rise and fall of civilizations. It does include the war cycles, periods in which there are more wars and periods in which there are more sunspots, originally discovered by Alexander Chavinsky in Russia, and he was thrown in the gulags in 1918. What was it about the power elite in Russia that was so outraged about Alexander Chavinsky's ideas? I see myself and others that are alive today, people like Burl Payne, not a lot of other people. I can't think of no one in the alternative media that covers the solar influence over mankind, in periods, I would even say, in which events are staged or created because they know exactly what they're doing. And there isn't really a lot of discussion about how they use the solar flares to their advantage in the control structure. But I want to leave you with this and perhaps come back tomorrow with a follow-up report. There are evacuations. There are people that may lose their homes. People are being told to write their social security number on their arm before the storm hits in case they die. So we will leave it at that.